Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, Gixx, Yawgmoth Praetor in historic Brawl. Gixx, what lends Gixx power, or more about the power that your commander Gixx gives to your team, is it makes evasive small black creatures suddenly A+ stars because they're probably drawing cards every time they hit. It's like if you threw a curious obsession onto all of them, or maybe a curiosity is the right analogy since curious obsession gives a little power toughness bonus. But it's like Gixx throws all of those little creatures an extra power, an extra ability to draw you some sweet cards. So it makes cards like Battlefly Swarm, a common that would never usually see the light of day, Blightkeeper, cards like this. They suddenly become all-stars in this kind of deck. This deck is absolutely full of 1-mana 1/1 flyers and unblockables, and even a couple of death touchers in the 1-drop spot because you want to play out a couple of those and then hit them a few times with Gixx and draw cards. But on top of that, we have a lot of discard cards. We have a lot of removal cards, and we have things to bring our commander back from the dead if bad things happen. So we get to play all of your favorite things from mono black, all the removal, all of the discard, but we also get to do it with a bunch of small creatures that end the game while drawing a ton of cards. It's a combination of a lot of things that make Magic players happy, and that's why Gixx Yawgmoth Praetor is a really fun, exciting, and competitive commander to play in the right build. I think you're really gonna like this one, so let's dive in. Let the Gixx Yawgmoth Praetor nonsense begin. Our opponent goes first. They're playing Bazri Cat, and we've got the classic 1 into 1/1 into Gixx. And we do have 2 removal spells, so we can keep this. One of them even hits a Planeswalker. And they don't have a 1-drop, which is great for us. All right, Daxos as a 2-drop is a kind of a pain to get around, but we do have a lot of good answers. We could sap its vitality though, and that's just dead right now before it gets too big. And then one of our other creatures gets very powerful. It does take our whole turn though. I think I dare them to attack with Bazri Cat and play out these creatures, because then we get to draw so many cards with Gixx. It sort of puts them in a position where they're supposed to answer us, but nope, they're going to play Bazri right away. They're going to gain the counter. They're not going to attack because of the Vampire of the Dire Moon. Now we have a downfall. So here's Gixx. They'll probably find a way to kill it, but we're going face. They trade. Nice. It's a fine trade for us. So they have nothing on the board with their Bazri. That's awesome. Even if they kill the Gixx, we can start picking on Bazri. Solemn. Oh, Gixx lives. And this is a 4 going to 5. So I could exile the Solemn. I could mastery it, right? It's pretty good. I could also Shadow Spear and go over the top. I guess that's just better, especially with the life gain. Keep going face, ignore Bazri for now, because we can blow it up next turn. Had a feeling they'd block just to draw the card and save some damage. But we let them draw, then we Inquisition them. Hits, nothing. Norn? Mangara. Wow, they go big with Bazri, don't they? Right, Mangara is here with a counter. So we can't cut it down because of that counter. Cheap mastery, they get to draw. Hero's downfall, no emblem. Elesh Norn is coming though. We gotta find an answer to that. Dark Ritual. Another cheap creature. Whoa. Eldest Reborn, yes. There she is in all of her 4/7-ness. Killing off my board with the -2 effect. But we have a reply. Might as well make it a big turn. You love the Shadow Spear. It's kept Gixx big enough to get through the opponent's blockers and also stay on the aggressive while gaining all this life. So we haven't had to worry about our life total. Really nice. Angel of Invention. If I had the cut down available, that would do it. I guess it still does. Opponent has to discard. They discard a plains. All right, get out of my way. Hit. Turn them sideways. Time for something to happen to Gixx. Definitely survived way too long. +3, +0, and 3 damage. I was trying to think if I could like reduce its power, but nope. I could have gotten it back with Eldest Reborn, but I'm planning on getting Norn. The one known as Elish Norn is the one I've got my eye on. No! A board wipe out of the Bazri Cat deck. You got me. You got me. Oh my goodness. I mean, I've seen them play Vanquish the Horde before. All right, come here. Oh, that's what did it? That's what did it. If you're gonna scoop, do it to your own card. Quick video insert here to let you guys know that I am casting the Historic Brawl Hub Season 3 Top 8 Tournament on Sunday, January 8th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. There's more information right there. I'm Not Fine, another YouTuber who makes Historic Brawl content, is casting with me. We're on the Historic Brawl Hub Twitch channel, so it's right there. It's on the screen. I'll also put a link in description stuff. Twitch.tv, Historic Brawl Hub, Top 8 Tournament. It's going to be running a good amount of the afternoon on Sunday, the 8th of January, probably the same day you're watching this. You might want to pause the video, go check and see if it's live. If you want to see the height of competitive Historic Brawl and hear me talking about my thoughts on the deck and the plays, then please check it out. I'll see you there. Back to the video. We are on the play. We've got a 1/1. We got a random card. We'll see what it is. We're up against Sisay. Sisay is one of the OG Paradox Engine commanders. You can just tap your commander and fetch up the Paradox Engine. It usually runs all of the little ramp creatures. Let's see what you got on top. Ugin. Okay. Well, I'm glad they're drawing a 6-drop. Good to know about. I'll probably say it a few times, but I run Bauble in every deck that feels like it's a little bit short. Like some of the spots aren't as high quality as others. I mean, I'm running Vampire of the Dire Moon, so definitely qualifies for this deck. Also, just having a little bit of hand knowledge, like you see a removal spell, makes a big difference. It's also good with hand hate in general. Just having a little more knowledge. You know what they're going to top deck. So they're going to have Destiny Spinner, which doesn't bother me because we're not going to counter anything. But this Gwenna is a very scary card. They might trade that Destiny Spinner with the Vampire of the Dire Moon, actually. That will be fine, though. If they trade, that's fine. We got an Eye Collector. Let's play Gixx and get that trade. I mean, the spinner's not going to help very much, so they might as well. But then next turn, Gixx can start attacking and possibly getting in. What we really want to do next turn is either play Shieldred or feed the Swarm on Sisay and the Eye Collector. Opponent did find the third land that's not the Fabled Passage, so they could play Sisay here, but they might be waiting for protection. Hesitation, though, makes me think they don't have the protection. And they're going for it. All right. They've decided their best course to win might just be to run Sisay out now. So let's attack. I mean, if they want to block, that would be awesome. Shadow Spear. Nykthos is our land. Feed the Swarm the Sisay is for sure happening. And then we could play Eye Collector, but that doesn't get through the Gilded Goose, so I think I'm playing the Misery Shadow. We know they have some expensive cards in their hand. Looks like they're passing the turn. All right. We get kind of a free devotion here from the Eye Collector. So let's set it up. And I'm also going to go ahead and make my Shieldred mana so that the drawing gains us life. Hopefully this is enough pressure. The opponent's going up to 6 mana next turn with the Goose, so they can get Ugin. Oh, the Goose is blocking? Huh. I think I'll hide the Shadow Spear and just activate the ability of the Shadow here. Opponent's gonna make a food and ephemerate the Goose. All right, Goose is not going away. They need that mana, so I'm not too surprised. Misery Shadow Nykthos could be a real problem for them. All right, they don't use the Ephemerate, so we know they're going to use the Goose here. And they didn't crack the passage, so I think they need to top deck the land. Did they get it? Yeah, you don't want to thin your deck of lands when you need to draw one. It looks like they got it. So here comes either Ugin, which might take out Shieldred, or Sisay, which might set up a potential win next turn, although maybe not, because they don't have a mana dork to go with Paradox Engine that's unlimited. They just get 2 cracks at the Goose. And they're going to use one right here. Yeah, Ugin. Ugin killing.
Do not defy the designs of an elf dragon.
Ugin not killing anything. Okay. Okay then. So we could activate Gixx's ability. I think what we want to do though is not that, as great a content play as that can be. Let's put a ton of mana into Nykthos. Let's play the Shadow Spear. Let's equip it to the Misery Shadow. And let's pump up the jam. Face. Face is the place. We're out to kill ya. Alright, they block Shieldred. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 next turn. We could push it 3 more. And I think that's the plan. We just want to get them as low as possible. There's no guarantee that we draw a very good card. So let's not try for it. Let's just push their life total into the mud. They're going to be at 1 after they draw this card. Down to 1. They do have a food. Let's see them get out of this without their commander. They're gonna dig with Ugin. I mean, they've got to kill the Shieldred, right? Maybe they plan to out-goose me. They're gonna play the Henge. Okay, that gains 2 life. But every time they play a creature, they draw. Pass turn. I guess that's a resignation. All right. That was a heck of a shadow with a Shadow Spear. Very flavorful. Today's patron shout out goes to David Kovacs. David, you're cool. We are going against Tajik, one of the most aggressive and highest ranked aggressive commanders out there. We are going first. The Mind Spike might miss, but at least we draw. The Heartless Act is good against them, and Blood on the Snow is our only sweeper, and we have it, so we'll keep. We got hits. Oh, we got hits. A 7 mana hit? Citywide Bust. Jaya's Greeting. Okay, weird collection of cards. We'll take the Greeting. It's a 2 mana way to kill Gixx. The Bust isn't very scary. We can play around it. And here comes a 1/1 Flying Vigilance. Let's try to time this Heartless Act. Gonna hold this for the 2-drop, whatever that turns out to be. Nothing? If it's nothing, I will destroy this Angel before it gets counters on it from the Tajik. Oh, do you run protection spells? You must have just top decked one. Yeah, fight is 1. Okay, protected the Angel. All right, Gixx, you're coming out. Do we trade with their commander? I don't think so. I think we feed the Swarm their commander if that's their play. But the aggressive posture makes losing life to draw cards a lot riskier. Should have played the Mutavault that turn. What was I thinking? Doesn't matter. They drew a way to kill Gixx. I think they're on a budget build of Tajik, but you see they're paired right up here. So I don't have a turn 5 play yet, so normally I'd leave it in the graveyard, but let's go ahead and move it back to command for now. Concealing Curtains. Okay. This is a good blocker for Tajik. Let's go ahead and use it. The Citywide Bust is probably the take, so they can't just kill it. They've got a Legion War Boss, which we can hit with Blood on the Snow. This is scary eventually, but I'm optimistic I'll find another piece of hand hate before they hit 7 mana. All right. Commander is here, but I've got 3/4 Menace to block with. Doesn't look like a good attack. Opponent is probably very disappointed about not getting to attack all. My wife loves playing creature strategies. I know she gets very annoyed when she doesn't get to attack all. All right, let's get Gixx out here. One's got something here. Did they draw a lightning bolt? Anyway, I'm going in. I want my card draw. Wow, their draw has been a problem for me. They have now like ripped off the top after we took their first way to kill Gixx. 2 more ways to kill Gixx. Now, can we draw land for this Blood on the Snow, or are we going to lose the game this way? I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to think it's just not meant to be. I just can't believe they drew the lightning bolt. All right, that's a good draw. Revealing Eye. Show them what's up. Not afraid. Destroy all. But it's getting scary. That Akroma's Memorial is looming. It's 2 lands away. That could be 4 turns, even if their land split is 50-50. But it could also be... they could also just hit 2 lands in a row, play the Memorial, and then play their commander. And I can't do anything about it for the rest of the game. There's a land. This Pilfering Imp. Gotta get there. Yep. Commander comes out. We could block it here, but I don't think that's it. Don't think that's it. Shieldred. Nice. Here's Shieldred. Make this draw a little less painful. Gotta get this. I think we gotta get the Imp down. Now, okay, but this is tough, right? If they top deck an untapped land, right? They get to play it anyway, and then they have their commander down as protection from us for the rest of the game. But Shieldred really dominates that situation, right? The other idea is we could feed that swarm the commander, and then they have to play the memorial and then play the commander, and by then they're kind of out of the game, right? But having the imp down is more card draw potentially anyway. This is a tough choice. This is a tough choice. There's also we could play the Busta. I'm going to play the imp. What would you do? I mean, haste, flying, all the other abilities, protection from everything. Dude, they just ripped it. They just ripped the 2 lands in a row. All right, well, now we have to do this on hard mode. Down to 9. This has first strike? It does. Oh, duress! Come on. All right, so they can block this. We can't target it. They can block the Mutavault and first strike it. We could just attack, though. This is as a sorcery? It is. Okay. But card draw is kind of our saving grace here. It is what we have. They also seem to run a lot of removal, so if we get one more land, maybe we use Gixx on them. How much does this cost? 7? Yeah, 4 more. Ugh. It's not good. Yeah, I think we try to draw through this. But I'm not attacking with my commander. I'll sacrifice the others, but not the commander. I really hope they don't block the Mutavault, but they do. Because I need my lands. Up, 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 up. Maybe they're worried because they don't have protection from it. If I had a way to somehow make it larger, they would be in trouble. And they're blocking Shieldred, which doesn't kill it. But I don't kill Tajik because of the protection from black. Lose a life, gain some life. Oh, supernatural stamina. Lose a life, gain some life. No lands. Stamina will help, though, next turn. We can do some attacking. Here's a bauble. Let's have a look at that top card. Would have been nice to know last turn. Okay, good. Just a mountain. Now you can just draw all lands. I'm okay with it. We draw a hive. Maybe I should have looked at my own library to decide whether or not to Bankbuster on my turn to hit a land drop. Because 7 mana for Gixx might get there. Alright, 12 to 9. We draw. We gain more life. Very hard to race Shieldred. And Eye Twitch. Alright, everybody can attack now. I don't have the crew for the Buster. If I crew the Buster and they block here, they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I also send the Mutavault, I win. So I think I use Stamina as a pump spell here, and I get there. Go team. We turn them sideways. We go for the lethal. I mean, I love the name Entirely Random, and one of the things about Historic Brawl that just feels like no other format is the tilt when they're drawing singleton cards, but they're perfect, and they draw perfect from a 100-card singleton deck. Like, that is the kind of vibe you just don't get from Standard, where everything's really scripted, and you get 4 copies of each, and it's a 60-card. Like, the consistency is there, right? But in Historic Brawl, when they, have that one lightning bolt, you're like, ah! But when you have that perfect card, you're like, yeah. We get Bazri again. A bunch of the white creature decks. The last time I ran Gixx, or tried to, didn't go well. I played against a lot of other Rakdos commanders, Prosper. Made me change my deck a lot. Now we're playing the creature decks, but we keep drawing blood on the snow. That's pretty good. Sarah Ascendant. If you have 30 or more, like, +5/+5. It's a good card. It's a good card. Let's get their hand and get rid of anything that messes with Gixx. like Patriarch's Humiliation. Does it say it loses abilities? No, just can't attack. At the beginning of your combat, if you control, put a counter on it. That's a good card. That's a scary card. All right, it's got to be the Humiliation though. Hopefully we draw some Planeswalker removal and we can kill this with Go for the Throat, ignore the rest of the board for a while. This will probably, they'll probably spend their turn binding Gix in gold, because if it's able to attack and block, that's a big problem. And we're finding our land. We might even be able to ramp up this Blood on the Snow. Yep, bounding gold. No Ataxies or Bloxies now. But we still get the ability, right? Well, this is the test. But I'm pretty sure yes. Alright. Mutavault. Good one. Alright. Play this underdog. We're going to go for the throat, because I think what they're going to do is they're going to cast Bazri, and we're going to take out that Ardorant of Hope, whatever it's called. We'll wait for combat though. Actually, underdog can block it, but you know, more creatures we have attacking, the more cards we draw. God Eternal Oketra is a scary one, and it keeps coming back, but it comes back in super slow-mo, especially from mono white. So Blood on the Snow can fix a board that problem creates. All right, Indestructible on the Ascendant. Let's see if they attack with the Adherent of Hope. Adherent? Adherent of Hope? Nope, just the Ascendant. Soldier of the Pantheon has protection from multicolored, and when I cast multicolored spells, gain life. Definitely irrelevant here. Let's go ahead and pick off this card. It keeps growing, it's a problem. Opponent will probably block the soldier here. I'm starting to worry about Bazri though. Not worried enough. Let's just make this trade. Trading with the underdog is always good for us. Oh ho ho. Here comes Obliteration. That's a problem. Let's go. Yeah. Give your Ascendant some Indestructible and attack into this. Yes. There it is. Oh, what a card. We're up against Nicol, Bolas the Ravager. Evil versus evil. Gix versus Bolas. We got the turn 1 Ashnod, the turn 2 Shadow Spear, the turn 3 Gix. Really need some hand hate for this because they're going to run a lot of removal. So I gotta have good draws, but I'm not gonna mulligan a 1-drop creature on the play. The opponent plays a Mox Amber that won't do anything for a minute, and they have their first removal spell. I do not have a second creature. This might be over very quickly if we just play Gix and it dies. Hopefully they just go for hand hate here and see nothing, and then I draw a creature that I can play. Okay, they're gonna blow up my Shadow Spear. Just deny everything, I guess. Okay, we drew a creature. We go for the Gix? I guess. It's the mana efficiency, right? Because then next turn, if they kill it, we play Eye Twitch. Okay. They pass. Yeah? They didn't save removal? Why did they blow up the Shadow Spear? They just didn't want to do nothing, I guess. Might make me discard a card, so I'm going to play out the Stronghold now. Woe Strider. Resolves. Eye Twitch. Resolves. But Bolas, what are you doing? You're not supposed to let me have this much fun. Quick, sweep the board before I get cocky. I can't believe they used the Rampage on the Shadow Spear with no other removal for Gix in hand. I mean, if people want to play the format casually and just like blowing stuff up so they just snap off, you know, whatever when they draw it, that's fine. I'll never get mad at you about it. Oh, there we go. Oh, they're gonna name Odd. They're definitely naming Odd. Okay. There's the sweeper. Thank you. I was getting cocky, like I said. Yep. Let's drop the Thirst, get a draw. Eldest Reborn, pretty good. I think I leave this in the graveyard. But if, oh God, if they take my Eldest Reborn, though, I'm so screwed. So no, we don't do that. Oh, wait, yes, we do. We leave. Oh, I'm going to lose my Woe Strider. Oh, that sucks. I wish I had a way to kill my own Woe Strider. Yeah, I can't afford that. We gotta move it to command. Things could go very badly. Goodbye, Woe Strider. Unless you'd like to kill the goat. Yeah. Alright, how many more sweepers do you think they got? So we do have Ashnod down there, which is okay. Let's just get Gixx back on the field. They didn't have spot removal last time. We'll see if they have another removal spell here. Here's Bolas. Sap Vitality can go. Now, they have mana. If they have a counter spell here, it's so bad for us that I'm thinking about grasping Bolas. And I think that's the play, to be honest, because then we can still get connections down even if they have a counter spell. Bolas will be back. We have to have a card ready to discard to him, so hopefully he doesn't come back next turn. But if Gixx hits here, we'll have the card. And one of the very powerful cards in this matchup is Black Market Connection. I'm going to hold this Swamp in case they replay Bolas, because I don't want to lose the Eldest Reborn. Eldest Reborn is meant for Bolas. Look at the art. Ooh, Windfall, and they get rid of a removal spell. Wow. Bizarre. All right, Null Priest off the top. All modes, no fear. All right, do I get a hit in? No. Murderous Rider. But let's decline the command zone. No attacks from the goat. And we will kick her out the Null Priest. Maybe I was supposed to still hold that land. Don't think it'll matter. Oh, another sweeper from the opponent. Okay, it's getting feisty now, isn't it? All right, back to command. 7 mana for Gixx now, but we've got the Stronghold. Misery Shadow, good one. Do we use all modes here? I don't think I need the treasure. But I'll take these. Gixian Puppeteer, that is a very good one. You can help with our life gain scenario situation. So that makes 5, so we play you. Then what? I could get rid of the Rider, but I don't think the Rider's that threatening. I'm going to play the Shadow. And we still have Mastery open potentially, but we'd have to let them draw, which I don't like. All right, they braid the Puppeteer, so we get back the Null Priest, I think, for the life gain. Trying to offset the connection. And at this point, the opponent might be able to draw this out, so I'm just going to start taking just the treasure. Because you don't want your life total too low. That's one way we could lose. Eye Collector, not very impactful until Gixx is back. Actually, let's attack all. See how the opponent wants to play this. After all, we have the Shadow, which we can pump to the moon. And take a block. Activate. They gain 2, we gain 2. I think I just hold the Eye Collector and pass, to be honest. Or I could play Gixx. Yeah. If Gixx gets swept away, it feels bad. I guess we have a lethal board. Let's just not. Let's end the turn. The Shadow can get there. Here's Bolas. Eye Collector down. Mastery the Bolas. Threatening to pump the Shadow to the moon. Do they have a counter? Pact of Negation. Okay. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The Eldest Reborn takes Nicol Bolas off the battlefield. Pumps the Shade for a lot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opponent said the GG's first, so we'll send him back. Victory for Gixx in the battle of ultimate evil. Our opponent is playing Jodah, which, in my opinion, one of the greater scams that you can run. It's just so hard to have a good Jodah deck. We'll keep. We're on the play with the double flying 1-drop, which they're probably not going to be able to easily remove. We've got Assemble from Parts if they mess with Gixx, or Shieldred if we want to keep getting them back. Assemble from Parts, one of the best kept secrets in Historic Brawl. I certainly have only seen its power a few times, but once I learned, I really learned. Basically, this effect can stay forever with your commander, so every time it dies, you can get a new commander token from your graveyard for just 3 mana. And that's really busted. Here's Gixx. Triggers. And 2 cards. Oh, feels so good. Let's have a look at the opponent's hand, shall we? What you got over there? Or not the hand, but top of library. Magda. Cool. Love it. I've had this on long enough. I always turn it on for Yorion, but I don't need it most of the time. It's just more clicks, which can be an issue when you're Paradox Engineing. Which I'm not today, but you know I will. They play Boots, they equipped Catilda. That's their play for turn. Is this a Sheldred turn? We're going to draw 3. Kind of want to unload my hand. Yeah, well, yeah, let's go. We got enough swamps. We can discard one of them. Yeah. Hit me again. Oh, I love it. Like Happy Gilmore in a batting cage, man. Oh, God, I love it. So, opponent, you want to cast Jodah? Timeless Lotus. Okay. We've got a big turn coming. But can we kill them right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then they draw a card and they die. Any other way to get some damage? Oh yeah, the Mutavault. That works too. Sheldred can handle a little supernatural stamina. Dodge the triggers even. Mono black aggro. Poor Jodah. The best thing that came out of that whole game was just a little flashback to Happy Gilmore. All right, we've got the Bank Buster. We've got Duress on 1. We keep. Up against Bolas. Can be a tough deck to navigate. Let's see how much removal they have in their removal tribal. Rusco. Gross. Arena. Rebuke. Black Market Connection. Oh, man. Well, the good news is they don't have an answer for Gixx. The bad news is they've got these very, very powerful 3s, but they don't affect the board, and I think I let them have them. Because what can I do? I can... So the turn that they use Connection, right? I can Blood Chief's Thirst, take out the creature, but then they have Bolas too that turn, so I can't attack through it. Yeah, it's probably the Connection. And then I have to hope I get there before Rebuke becomes really powerful, which is really tough on the draw. Yeah, hopefully we'll find another way to make them discard Rebuke. They get a Temple off the top, and they scry to the bottom. Assemble from Parts isn't good against Rebuke, but here's a Bank Buster. Bank Buster is definitely not good against Rebuke. Here's the Arena, so the clock is ticking. We get to unleash the Gix plus vehicle synergy. We get a mastery. Not sure what to think about that. This game is already looking like a little bit of a lost cause. They probably play Rusko here, get a clock, and then they rebuke me next turn. Gross. Or they just slap my Praetor into oblivion. Decline, because we have Assemble from Parts. They Thoughtseize? Do they take the Assemble? Yep. What a master. They drew both of those. Right off the top. Alright. Alright, gamers. Let's try to keep the pressure up with the Woe Strider. The Woe Strider can exile Gix from our graveyard if it ever ends up in our graveyard. And we're just going to try to get their life total to 0 so they die from their own arena. Rusko does drain, so we got to kill Rusko. We have a lot of removal, though. Did they not draw land? Are these all spells? No, they've got it. Okay. Doesn't look like they have a playable this turn, though. We should guess we're getting rebuked. Maybe not. Maybe not. Resolves. Zareth San, good to know. Good to know. Get that off the board. Crew this up. Crack for 4. Down to 9. Down to 8 from the arena. We're in this. We got a chance. Another hit or two and they're in big trouble, and we can wipe any creatures off the board, so they have to draw removal. They pass, and it's probably for Zareth, but they know about Mastery. If they have a counter for the Mastery, that's huge. Shadow Spear? Shadow Spear. Ah! What do we do? So we could play the Shadow Spear and equip it to the Woe Strider, but no, we definitely want to remove the Zareth. I'm just trying to think of how to get as much damage in as possible. I think I crew Bankbuster, attack with both, Mastery the Zareth. If they counter it, we trade Bankbuster for Zareth, and it's not that bad. There it is. Come on. Hit. Yes. Down to 3. Down to 2 from the arena. How are they going to manage their own arena? They need a Shieldred. They've got a Nicol Bolas. Oh god, what does it do? Too much text. Let's find out. I'm just gonna... Whatever happens, happens here. They've got like a million modes. Okay, they're gonna exile cards from the top of my library until they exile a non-land card. Let's see if we can influence the top of our library just a little. You can have this Order of the Midnight that can't block. Hell yeah.
A mind is an easy thing to waste.
Take that, Bolas and Bolas. The Bolas brothers. We're up against to lose. Clever Conductor for a little conniving action. We're going to keep, and we've got the Volt Scourge on turn 1, Black Market on turn 3, Invoke on turn 4 potentially. So yeah, we go for it. Bone Shard's in the deck, not usually because we want to sacrifice our creatures. We often don't, but because we usually have the card to discard because of Gix. Turns into just solid 1 mana removal. We do pay the 1 though. Get that Vault Scourge down on turn 1. So if we draw a 2-drop, we can get right to work. Lightkeeper, let's go. 2 flyers. Awesome with Gixx. Is opponent going to untap? Yes. So hopefully what they have is Tails and Wash Away, something like that. These are the scenarios I love, because if this resolves, good. If it doesn't resolve, then maybe they don't have a counterspell for Gixx next turn. But they have to counter this. Yeah, straight up counterspell can counter anything. They can't just let me have Black Market. Too dangerous. Now here we have them doing nothing. How many counters you got? I think we go for it, because if we draw a land... Alright, resolves. I mean, I'm sure it's going to die, right? If we draw the land off the top, then we just recast it. Oh! Sweet. Or they just don't have it. That's fine too. What's that? Thirst for Discovery. Draw 3, discard 1. Or 2. We'll see. Look at that Spiraling Staircase Dracula art. It's very cool art. I don't use a lot of the alt arts, but that one's pretty cool. Do we run out the Knight? They might just sweep the board. I think our board is very good as it is, and Knight can be a 1-card, like, very threatening play. Yep, there's the Extinction event. We get to keep the Vault Scourge. Let's play Gixx again, even though we could resolve Invoke Despair here. Gixx getting a free shot here to draw a card is probably worth it. Because I think we'll resolve Invoke Despair later. They have to keep hustling to kill Gixx, and there's another board wipe. Yeah. We'll move it. We don't have a way to get it out of the graveyard yet. Inquisition you. Finally, we get some hand knowledge here. They've got Mind Stone Key. We'll take that counter spell. They have a Dismiss. Holding that open is going to be a pain for them. Part of me says I should keep the pressure on them, though. And if they just pass with, like, they play Mind Stone, they hold up Dismiss, we just attack and pump Knight. And we save Invoke Despair. It's not very mana efficient, though, and we know this could resolve. But there's no damage pressure on them next turn. That's my concern. Let's go. Maybe they'll play their commander. This is an interesting decision. I'm sure most people would, like, mock me for it, but I think it's going to turn out good. If they draw a removal spell, it's really bad. All right, they're going in for key. So I think we're going to get this Invoke Despair anyway, while also dealing damage and growing our Knight. They discard the Mind Stone. And they have their land drop for turn. What could this be? I guess we'll find out. They can't play a counterspell from here. Nom. It's a lot of removal, though, and not a lot of creatures. Alright, they play their commander. Trigger on the stack is when you want to do this. I'm going to use the Heartless Act. Because Heartless Act becomes obsolete if they ever get a Connive +1/+1 counter on their commander. And they let it go. They're too worried to use that Dismiss. Draw and discard. They could have the Time Warp, so they might play that and then cast their commander again. Nope, they're holding up Dismiss. Encounter Cruelty of Gix, which is not good. Anything in the graveyard that has to go? Not necessarily. So I guess we'll just pump the Knight. You will respect me. I am Ebon Legion. Do it again. This time, go for the throat with trigger on the stack. Bang. I think playing the knight worked out big time. And we are back for the post-game wrap on Gixx Yawgmoth Praetor, and I'm 8-0 with the deck so far with the latest revisions. Now, there were some versions I tried before it, particularly Shadowborn Apostle was the first thing I tried, and then Oops All One Drops was the second thing I tried before trying this balanced attack, and those versions did much worse. But this one, at least as of now, is undefeated, with the longest game length being 9 minutes. So, under 10 minutes, tear them to shreds, get in, get out, get those daily quests done, especially if you have Black Creatures daily quest. This is an easy one. I think that you guys should play Gixx. It currently competes in the like low A, high B tier. It faces a whole bunch of different commanders, and most of them don't come prepared for the amount of misery that we're set to inflict upon them. So Gixx Yawgmoth Praetor, it gets a big thumbs up from me. If you like attacking with black creatures, this one is a good one. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You stayed till the end. Now top it off. Hit like, hit subscribe. You're cool. I always build my historic Brawl decks card by card from scratch. Yeah. And it takes a long time, but making the perfect Brawl list is very, very difficult. One of the more competitive decks in the format, competing in the Hell Queue, and takes a lot of time and exploration, more than I can put into one daily video. So I'd like to thank the following content creators who I always check out for inspiration and ideas for my deck lists. Legend.
Today we're taking a look at Two Heavens as one, as suggested by my supporters on Patreon.
Amy the Amazonian.
Welcome to Brawl Stars. Today we're playing one of my favorite commanders, Volo.
I'm Not Fine.
That is lethal. Wow. GG.
And the Historic Brawl Stronghold on Discord. Thank you guys. Great content, and I appreciate the inspiration.